Hey everybody! Just trying to... Oh, I need a light. Hang on. Hopefully you're seeing. There we go. There's the picture for tonight. So, all summer I've been kind of setting up for lots of chalk stuff, getting my videos going, everything like that. So this is, I've also been trying to think, oh, I need to update my house, get my walls decorated. I need something fresh and beautiful on my walls. There you go. So that is one area. Actually, right behind me is a big area that I did. Sorry about that. That I did the beginning of the summer. So I put in these cabinets in my craft room. That's one set. Then I have wider ones over there. Put up the shiplap behind me. Put up the shelving behind me. I've done some videos on these boards behind me. It's just been crazy. You know? Absolutely crazy. So, I'm just thinking, sorry, I'm just making sure I'm on. There I am on. Okay. Just wanted to make sure I'm on. Now, here's the thing. So, I put in these cabinets. I am trying to see any... Sorry, got a close up my face. So, trying to see if there's any chats. Okay? So, that I can actually answer questions or anything. Oh, I'm so hot today. Oh, I got a little too much sun today, but I am super hot. So, in this area, I had decorated before. At the beginning of the summer. Hopefully you can see them both. See us both on screen? I think you can. If you can't, let me know. So this is an area I put some lemons in. I put a little wreath. I have my jug, you know, that has drinks in there that you can mix up, everything like that. So, there we go. There's a little combine there. Okay, so yeah, I decorated that little area, and then I put this board together finally. And what this board is, and I'll show you what this board is now. Have it down here on my table. It's a huge board, by the way. It's massive, it feels like, compared to my table. Like, I can't even sit up close. Just trying to get a guess. This is... I would say about 28 by 30 something. It's pretty big. So anyhow, this is a frame that I inherited, thankfully, from my great-great-grandmother. So it was a gold frame. And actually during the 80s, right? So during the 80s then, I painted it silver and did like a blue sponge on it because I had a lot of blue, light blues in my house. And so now it's gray walls, of course. So I need to change this up a bit. So what I did was, for this board, this actually had a picture in it, and then I had put a mirror in it, and then put it up on a wall in a small bedroom. But now, what I want to do is put it in that space where you saw it hanging on the wall, with the lemons in front of it for summer. It's still summer in my book. Will be till August. At the end of August, I think, or middle of August, I'm going to start doing my fall. At least that's the plan for now. But I have to get all my walls decorated. So I'm trying to decorate as many walls as I can throughout the house. I see we've got a black little thing there. I don't know why, but we do. Funky. Here we go. So what I did was I took a piece of scrap masonite that I had at home, and so I painted it with chalkboard paint. Okay, now Couture boards, you do not have to wax. Okay, most of them you do. I say most of them you don't have to wax. There are some, like the palette board, that they're one-time use only. Okay, one-time use, don't use it again. So what you put on there is permanent. So anyhow, since I made this board and just use paint, regular, you know, chalkboard paint. There we go. Gosh, I'm just having a brain freeze here today. I don't know why. And I don't know why there's that black thing on the screen. Anyhow. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down to my board view. Okay. So what I'm going to do, they do have Couture does have wax. It comes in like a chapstick container, and they're not very big. So it would take probably 2, maybe 3 of those. Now I've used those before quite a bit. I actually had a ton, but some of them dried out because I didn't use them right away. And I mean a couple years before I used them. So don't think, oh, it's really bad quality. But I keep this for any of the woodworking I do anyway. So I thought this was just actually the easiest thing to use. This is Minwax Paste Finishing Wax. This helps if I want to use then this helps that when I want to use the board again, the chalk paste wipes off with water much easier. Okay? So let me get started. I'm going to put this Minwax on here. Again, I want this to make the paste, just like on the Couture boards, it wipes right off. That way I can change it again for the season, and I definitely plan on changing this for the season. There are so many fall and Christmas. There's so many cool transfers, you guys. If you don't have a Couture catalog and you'd like to look at one, I will send you one if you comment, or if you let me know, I can sure do that. You can message me too at Krysten@Andrea. Either way, give me an address and I can send that to you. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken the paste, Minwax Paste Finishing Wax. If I stain boards, I've done that before too, where I stain some boards. And I use this on the top to get kind of that distressed look. Okay. Now don't worry about any of the streaks. I'm going to then use the dry part of this, kind of let it absorb a little bit. I got a little up here in the frame. Like I said, this is a huge board. I think I had actually cut these 24 by 24, just the board, but this was a little smaller than that. I actually cut this one down. And when I say that, it's the board I'm talking about, not the with the frame. The frame is an antique frame I got from my great grandmother's house after she had died. And I've always had it hung up in my house because it's gorgeous. At least I think it's gorgeous. Oh, hot, hot, hot. Okay, so here's the plan. I love lemons. Not a big peach person. I hate peaches. I love the look of peaches, but I really don't like a peach. So what I'm going to do, and since I have lemons kind of sitting out, I'm going to use the lemon in the middle of the board. Okay? But then Couture came out, oops, I see a little transfer, came out with 4 designs. It was one huge sheet, and these are called pattern blocks. So they also have seasonal pattern blocks. I don't remember which was on top, but it comes as one large sheet. What would this be, 18? How big would that be? That's pretty big. 12, yeah, I think 18 by 18 it came as one big transfer. So I just cut it up. Now, my idea is to use the floral with the lemons in the back, with the lemon in the middle. I'm looking at them. Yeah. Polka dots. So I have polka dots here. These are like, I almost say they're like stars. They're like little plus signs, you know what I mean? But it looks like a starry sky at night. So I thought that might be a really good one when I switch this board up for Christmas. Okay. So I thought, oh, that'd be awesome. There we go. So I thought I would change this when it comes to like my winter scene with Santa. So what I'm going to do, sorry, I'm sweating. What I'm going to do is, or what I did, let me tell it to you that way. What I actually did already to prep for this, and I'm lifting up my frame. There it is. So what I made so that my lemon can be in the middle, I want to do the background first. Okay. So I have a Cricut. And so I have a Cricut maker, actually. I have a Cricut. I have lots of them. But anyhow, my latest one's a Cricut maker. And so I just cut this. This is removable vinyl. So it's not the permanent. It's, you know, it's not the strong. It's just removable. So it's meant to do that. So what I thought I would do is I would put this in the center, do my background. I kind of measured that my lemon was, I think it was 5.75, which is 5 3/4 wide. Okay, so I made a circle that was 6 1/4, so then it would give a little gap, because I think you need a little gap to show off that lemon, you know, spotlight that lemon. So I did that, and now I've got to place it on my board, and I'll show you what I mean by the background. Since my background is so much larger than my transfer, so I get about 16 1/4, so I want to go 8 and an 8, but that's my middle, okay? 8 and 8. I think it's longer this way. Don't you love how you use fingers? And that's 18, so I'm going to go by 9. So I'm going to call that my middle, okay? So with that, to try to make sure this is middle, I could fold my circle, you know what I mean? If you want middle. So, oh, I should have folded it backwards. Now, you know why? Because I can't put down that adhesive. The adhesive has to be on the bottom, not the top. Okay. Right. So that I actually do it correctly here. So, where my finger is where the middle should be. You see what I'm getting at? So now I'm going to slowly unfold it. Okay. It's a circle, so it should be even. Slowly unfold it. Now I have the paper behind. And since it's removable, it should peel off easier. And that wax is on there, so that also makes it more removable. Okay. Now I'm going to stand up and see. I'm also going to measure here. I think I'm going to do centimeters. It's so tiny. So I've got about 13, a little over 13 that way. So I really should come a little over. Now, what's nice is that does come up really nicely. And I just moved it the same. I just moved it about the same amount. The other direction. So I'm doing the best I can to try to get it even. 13. It's just a little off still. Like, I mean millimeters off, okay? Is all. Millimeters off. I think that's where we're going to leave it. Yeah, that's good. All right, so now let me look at the top. You guys can probably see that better than I can. Let's see if I can see that better. That's about 15.5. That's about 15. So I want to go up just a little. Yeah. Think I got it. Yep, I've got it. Okay, so that's right there in the middle of my board. You can only see part of my board at this time because it's so huge. Okay, now I'm going to do the flower transfer for my background. My sister gave me this idea. So I haven't used this before. So I'm going to use my defuzzing cloth. I'm actually going to stand because I'm having a hard time. This huge board in front of me. Gosh. I'm not very tall or long-armed. So what you do is you defuzz, and this is what we call defuzzing. So you put it on a defuzzing cloth, and it's like a rough towel on one side, and it's very smooth on the other side. I use the smooth side to help clean my transfers when it's done. Okay? Now, let's see. I'm thinking I can do 4 of these. Do you see what I mean? I think I can do 4. Now, I kind of like this border around it. So do you see what this is going to do? That where that circle is, it is going to block. Let's see if I can turn this. It's actually going to end up blocking this from laying paste right here. Okay, now I'm going to use, since this is white, I'm going to use white. I might dab a little color. Do you see this? It's kind of got a little design for the middle. I might just take a Q-tip or end of a pencil and drop gosh, I'm changing my mind. That's why I'm stopping. It's like, here's white paste, here's daffodil, and here's bumblebee. So I want you to see my lemons. Now I know the frame is really bright white, which is nice. I love that bumblebee though. But I'm wondering if I do the dandelion soft. I don't know. I think I'm going with what I originally wanted, and that was to punch that color out. So what I mean by that, I want that color to pop. So I'm going to use my white chalk Couture paste. Use my small squeegee. Kind of stirring it. I already checked it earlier to make sure it was a good consistency. And what I mean is it's like runny toothpaste. Okay, now here's another thing I'm going to tell you. I'm going to use my large squeegee for this because look how much it covers. So I'm just going to put paste here at the edge, you know, in that white space they call it, where the transfer, and this is silk screen transfers. That's what it is. So I'm going to drag it across. And I'm going to drag it both directions. Now when I smoothed that out, I made sure there weren't bubbles. I don't know if you caught that. I smoothed it with my hands. I need more paste. I have better luck if I don't put it, just slap it, especially with the ink. We have Chalk Couture ink, and that makes it permanent. I don't want this permanent. I want to change this every season. A little built up there. Just going to put some right here and drag it there. Now, this dries pretty quickly, believe it or not, and especially under these hot lights and the temperature. So I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to peel that up. Just making sure I have edges. Cool. Isn't that neat? Now, I'm going to go to the opposite. That makes sense. Opposite, because I want to give this time to dry some more. Now I'm not going to use my hands this time since there's already paste on it, but I definitely don't want any bubbles, okay? Hopefully this will get a chance to dry, but you can see the pattern, it is laying there. I'm going to use my small squeegee. to put more on. And there's no need for me to wash this transfer if I'm using the same colors. I'm not doing an ombre effect or a marble effect. I just want it white. Okay, so placing enough of it on. So you make a large squeegee. Now, the reason I kind of went over where that circle is, I want to make sure there are no places left unmarked. So you can see the black chalkboard in the background when I haven't gotten through the silk screen. So do you see here and here? You can see that the chalk paste didn't stick in there, so I just go maybe another direction. This is the best tool for large transfers. I absolutely love that. And this is what I consider a large transfer. All right, now I've done opposite, so I'm going to dry this now quickly with a hair dryer on cool setting. This is not heat set, and I'm just wanting, the only reason I'm using a hair dryer because I could just leave this to dry, but I need it to dry so you can see the whole results. Okay. Now, it should be dry. Looks like it's dry. Feels like it's dry. Now, here's the tough part. Lining it up. Just looking. So, and maybe it doesn't matter as much as you think. I think I've got it right here. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm looking kind of underneath, like through the screen. And down below, I notice there's a large flower. See that? It's like 2 ends are cut off. So that's exactly where I'm lining up my transfer to get started, okay? They make these so they repeat. Isn't that cool? It's a repeated pattern. So I'm just making sure that is lined up. There we go. I think it's good. It looks pretty good. If it's off a little, I'm not concerned about it. Unless I can see a direct line. Let me try that real quick. In fact, I think I might try that. I'm going to take my small squeegee. I'm just going to put it through here. Yep, I think I've got it lined up. Okay? So, bubbles out. I don't know if you can hear that sound, but it's getting the bubbles out. Now notice I'm getting a little more careless with where I place it because it's been used once, and I think you can. Actually, unless it's with ink. Ink you try to place on the edges and then pull in, then you don't have like a big glob that goes through the silk screen. I think that's with everything. Anytime you use silk screens, you usually pull only the amount that's necessary. That's why if you try to make a vinyl cut out of this, it won't work. It's going to put globs of layers. And I want a nice thin layer, a single layer, because if any type of thing that you use, if you have, if you just do a vinyl cutout, you're just going to get globs in some areas because you can't control the thickness. Where with the squeegee and the silk transfer, I'm controlling also the thickness, the amount that's going on there. Only so much is going through the screen. Now I want to show you something. What has happened is some of that chalk paste has dried. Do you see that? Some of it is dried, so it's coming out a little lighter. So it is time for me to go ahead and clean my transfer. Like I said, these stay, I mean, if I was using, I think it's just the time. It's let it dry a bit too much. Now, I'm not going to worry about erasing the board. I'm going to try to place it right in the same area. But what I have over here is a little pan of water, a 9x13 foil. You know those little throwaway 9x13 pans that you might take something to a neighbor or a friend or to work. That's where we use them a lot. Work, or if somebody, you know, you're taking food to somebody to share. So all I have is just a pan of water, and I'm using my board eraser to help clean it, and that gets the chalk paste off really well. Those are a godsend. Before they made those, I really had to, you know, I used my fingers under a running faucet all the time. Other people found other ways to clean them just by putting them in water. But then if you leave this adhesive, because it is an adhesive back on the transfer, if you leave that in water too long, then it doesn't keep the stickiness. You definitely want that so it doesn't move. Okay? Now I'm going to take my fuzzing cloth, and what I'm doing is I'm taking that softer side. I don't have that big of a table to show you. I apologize for that. But what I'm doing is just kind of rubbing it to get the excess water out. Because if I don't, that water's just going to fall back right on my chalk paste. And I'm kind of looking at it to see. You can sometimes see water in the transfer, you know, in between the screen. All right, there you go. Okay, do you see how much cleaner that is? All right, so now, see, I want my 2 petals. Just looking. Is it 2 or 3? And some people, and I see why they do this now, they mark theirs, like what's top, what's bottom. Probably should have done that before I started this, right? But I can still see through. Does that make sense? So I can see through my transfer, is what I'm telling you. So I'm lining it up with the white. It's already white there. I'm also trying to make sure that that squeegee is in that circle. This squeegee that has some paste on it already, it's in the circle. That looks pretty well lined up. Because otherwise I'd be making a mark on the board. We don't want that. Now they also recommend, if your paste gets dry, I notice mine's getting a little sticky here as I'm using it and the lid's open. It's also collecting around the edges. So I just squirted some water in there, and that was just a spray bottle that is a pretty fine mist, and that revives it. Okay, so now I'm going to do this again. I like that outer edge and bringing it in. Now, have you noticed that squeegee takes most of that paste, drags it across, and I have excess, okay? Which is good because I'm not wasting paste. If you had to waste all the paste, oh my gosh, I'd be going through so much paste, but you hardly do. This is such a great product and how they've thought everything through. I'm gonna be honest with you, I know I couldn't have thought everything through like they did. Like how this paste reacts. Now that's where that circle is. So I'm not too concerned about putting paste there. And again, you can see the black where I need to fill in the holes. And you think about this. This one's using quite a bit of paste compared to all my others because it's a background. And look at how small those shapes are. Okay? This is what I mean. I've been cleaning this off, putting it back in. Okay. Now this should work at least one other time. There we go. Isn't that cool? And I think I'm just looking at my transfer, looking where my petals are. Should have marked it. Here we go. But I did kind of an opposite, you know what I mean? So I'm turning it. Again, I can see the petals through the silk screen here to help me line up. I love that. Now, notice before I left it on, I did it twice before I had to wash. So I'm hoping the same happens here. If it's too light, then I need to wash it and do it again. But I'm going to see how we do on this. And the thicker you put it on at first, like if you had a big area to work with and you had to go with different colors and you put it on thicker and then you wait to squeegee it off. Like this. Put on thicker so it doesn't dry in the screen. That's actually what happens when I say it dries and not as much of the chalk comes through. It's because it's dried in that screen. See, with it easier. Now I did get a bubble. Dang it, I knew I should check. What happens to me when I get a bubble is it leaves a lighter mark. Because the paste can't stick to it. Let's see if that's going to be a big issue. See? Cool. Now, one thing that I'm noticing is it left, because I did 4 corners and this is wider than the transfer, it left a band. I'm not thinking that's a bad idea. You know what it'll really tell me is when I peel that circle off. Now, before I do that, I have got to get this paste covered because it is drying. Part of it is under the lights, part of it is the heat that we have here. It's like 70% humidity, which is not typically Nebraska. 70% humidity and 89 degrees. It feels really hot today. Okay, now I take this, put it in that pail of water over here, 9 by 13 of water, taking my squeegee and putting that paste back in. Okay, then I'll put that squeegee in the water also, but I want to show you clean up. Now Ken, I was watching him and he always suggests this. Put a couple squirts of water in your paste before you close it. Scrape everything down. Because I even have some stuck up here. This is my multi-tool. Love this tool too. I've been in Chalk Couture since they almost came to be. Honestly, it was 2017. Yeah, spring of 2017. No, I did summer. So anyhow, they didn't even have a multi-tool then. And I'm going to take a baby white, much less expensive than Clorox wipes. I think it's better for the boards too. Now I'm wiping around the edge. So it's taking out the dried, if anything got dried around that edge. And you wipe it to make it clean. That's what I love about the chalk paste. Wipes up with water. So when you want to change the board, use your spray. Use your spray bottle. And then let it set. Use your board eraser. And you can take that off and then change the transfer. So I'll be changing this probably, what is today? Probably about 15 days, 15, 20 days. I'll put a fall one up. I might do the buffalo check. They have a new buffalo check. It's a small buffalo check. I still have the large buffalo check one. And that's the beauty with these transfers. You can use them year after year. It's not a one-time use and that's it. I think I'm going to leave that gap. I like that gap. Isn't that cool? See how cool that is? Now, this is removable vinyl. Do I need that again? No, don't need it. That's why I used it. But isn't that neat? Now I'm just using a baby wipe. I see a few dry specks of the paste that got there. Okay. Now I'm going to make sure this is dry before I then do my lemon in the middle. Now remember when I'm doing the lemon, bought these cute little things, little salt and pepper shaker. The beginning of summer. Finally getting around to using this transfer. And that's what I love. You can use it year after year. Okay, I'm going to dry this on cool to make sure everything's dry, and then we'll get the lemon put on. Hair dryer, go away. Okay, my lemon is also a new transfer. I still see a smudge there. Now that, there we go. I got that off. Okay, got to throw the backing for my circle away. So this is the Peachy Keen transfer. All right, and so it has lemon fresh and it has Peachy Keen. I'm just going to use the lemon fresh. I don't know if I want to use the leaf. They did put a leaf for it, and then they put the veins. Do you see that? The veins right here. And then the leaf. I don't know. Just going to play by ear, see what it looks like. I think, too... Now, this is an 8.5 by 11 transfer, so this is $14.99 for this transfer. Again, you can use it, what, 18, 20, sometimes 25. Someone said 18 to 25 times. If I was doing a class, that's easily done, depending on how big your class is. Now, first time use, notice I cut on the line. I'm going to defuzz. Peel it. It's adhesive back, and you can kind of tell because it's glossy is the adhesive. See how that sticks? Stick it on the fuzzier side. I do the fuzzier side. The smoother side I use to clean. I'm going to do it again. It still feels really sticky. Now, the reason I do that defuzzing is because if I didn't, it would pull this up wherever the transfer was. Okay, I'm going to stand. Oh, this is kind of easy to line up because the middle, do you see that? The middle, the little pointy parts of the lemon come out to the edge. I've got a little high. And the pointy, I can kind of go, now see, I'm going to go in the middle of this. Now, I'm pressing down in the middle here where there isn't paint from the flowers. Now, if I press really hard on that, yeah, it's going to peel it right up. But I'm pressing around, get the bubbles out. And I tend to just use my fingers. Now, I'm going to do kind of an ombre, like a gradual change. You know what I mean? Excuse me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the daffodil color on the inside. I'm going to use my multi-tool. I just opened my daffodil for the first time. I think it's been a couple weeks since I've had it. So I just wiped off my multi-tool. Oh, for some reason one of my cameras disconnected. Let me go back in. Get that out. You don't necessarily need to see me, but it's always good to have another camera up. There we go. Oh, let me change that angle. You don't want to see the back of my craft room. There you go. There he is. So, let me show you. I should have both things going. This is my daffodil. I just took the cap off. And you see how it comes nice and full like that? And it's pretty runny. That's naturally how it comes. Okay? So, this time I'm going to do a dab in the middle. Because I want light to dark. Do you know what I mean? A little light to dark look. A little ombre. Clean up those jars right away. Get those lids on. That is, honestly, the minute you're done with it, I just had that wide open for so long because I was using it for so long. But the minute you can do that, like I put it on pretty heavy right here. It's not going to dry up. Now I'm going to open my Bumblebee. This has been opened before. I just did over the side because I didn't want a big dollop to fall. Can you imagine a dollop? Now, to see how this is a little gloppier, that means it needs water. I think gloppier is a word. Teacher here. Some days you don't know it. But yeah, gloppier is not a word. Gloppy? Well, yes, it is. It's an adjective. It's a comparative adjective. Okay, so I added a couple spritzes of water. I noticed I pulled it to the side. I don't want to add the spritzes of water over this. Issues. Issues. You know? Now, I'm going to dabble some on here. Now, this is what you can do. You can start from the inside and go out. Now, see what I'm doing? Picking up the dark color. Using the same finger, spreading that dark around, but I have that, I don't know if that'll show. I think I have to put that light back on. I think I over-covered my light too much. Does that make sense? I put the dark over the light. So I'm going to make sure, after I get all this paste back on. Now this is a thicker, you can tell I put this on pretty thick. And that's because number one, I don't want it to dry out in like a second. Number two, I'm working with the two colors together, so they have to be wet to work together. Because if you don't get them on nice and thick, one will dry and then the other will just go over it. And so that's what I'm a little worried about. Okay. Gonna get another baby wipe. I get this stuff all over my hands. Some people don't. Me. If you see, I try to get it off because I don't want it to go on to my area I'm working with. And yeah, some of our paste do stain. Now I'll take my board eraser to this, and this is what a board eraser looks like, just so you know. I'll take my board eraser to that. It gets in there, but some do stain, and it's not a big deal. That color doesn't come, what do I want to say, come through on anything else. Okay, light yellow. Oh, actually I'm making a new color. Ah, I did it again. All right, Chris. I think I'm just do that. Oh, man. Don't put it back in. Don't put the dark in the light. That's not good. Think. So I'm putting it in the baby wipe to throw away. Okay? Gotta clean up my edges. I think I'll be okay. I think since I put so much of that yellow on, I'm gonna play with the squeegee. Okay. So I'm going from the middle out, and I'm wiping. Oh yeah, it worked. Do you see that lighter color in the middle? Isn't that cool? Oh, I left a little dark on there. You can just see a little line. Oh my gosh. My hands are a mess. Look at me. Ah! Crazy. There we go. I had a little line, you know, where the squeegee was. I don't want that line to show. All right. Yes. Ah, that's perfect. Now, notice I'm hanging this front. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to stick it actually to my table and then take it into my other room and wash it in the sink because I already have the... My sister says they're almost like a daisy. And they are almost like a daisy, but they're not a daisy. These flowers, not a daisy. But like a daisy. Yeah. Okay, got that one cleaned up. Let's see if I can get more of this yellow off. What do you think? That says fresh. It says it's still summer, 89 degrees. I'm going to tell you, 15 days I'll be redoing this board. Baby check. I know I'm using this for Christmas. I've got to use the night stars for Christmas. That is gorgeous. Polka dots or wood. Wood is autumny. See, I like that, how that worked out. Instead of trying to match these up. See that look? Really like that. Okay. Hope that you watched. If you didn't watch, I hope you catch it on the replay. Hope. But I'm also going to take a picture at the end and I'm going to post it as a thumbnail so that you can see the results of the whole frame. Because I know you can only see part of it. It's a gorgeous frame. Absolutely gorgeous. I am not adding leaves. I love it. The shape, the circle, everything works out great. Okay? Hey, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Ask me questions. If you have any questions, is it hard? I'm going to be honest with you. I only joined Chalk Couture because I wanted the 40% discount. Because I love crafts. I do a lot of Cricut crafts. I need to start making videos of those because I'm going to do a lot. Like I did a wedding this summer. I do a lot. And so I'm going to try to make Cricut videos too. And I've got some ideas lined up. My perforated blade didn't come from HSN. All my other 3 did from HSN though. Thank you, HSN. Because that was the date it was released. Yay! But I ordered my perforated. Reordered it because they were out at HSN. And so I'm going to get that back. It should be coming 5 to 7 days. Countdown happening now. But I have this cool project to use at school for birthdays. So I hope you keep coming back to Krysten Creates because I'd love to create and I hope you enjoy watching and learning. Nobody's too old to learn. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Talk to you later.